Nightwing 108, Legacy number 295. Tom Taylor writing with Stephen Byrne on the art. Yeah. So this is the continuation of the pirate stuff that we've been doing. Dick's with was it B? And,
B, yeah. Captain Blood, for lack of a better.
Captain Blood, not Blood, Blood.
Oh, yeah.
I say it right. So they very quickly find out who the mole is on the ship because he tries to stab the captain in her sleep, but she's not there. They've set a trap. We get one of those. Obviously, it's not Redondo, but I'll call it a Redondo-esque page, which is the chase going down the page. So you see the multiple dicks and
levels.
Bad guy. Multiple dicks. So
yeah, you follow it down. It's very, very Byrne does it. He adapts his style very well to it.
Yeah, it's very good. It's doing a good job of being Byrne, but also kind of adhering to the style that the books had. I think they do a thing here where they actually kind of make you endeared to her second in command, this big guy with the beard, because he's got a couple of little jokes here where he punches the bad guy and Dick's like, "Hey, no violence," and he's like, "My fist slipped," and it's it is kind of funny. And he's got a couple of other lines with Dick, which is why at the end of the issue, when he gets killed by the villain, it's like, you know what, Taylor, you did just enough to make me like him that I'm a little sad that you get killed.
He might as well have told us he was retiring at the end of this.
I know,
because
he's retired.
That's just what it was.
Just 2 days till retirement.
Yeah.
So actually, one of my favorite moments in this book is that Dick and B start fighting about safety because there could be more moles on board. There's nothing to say it's just one. And she's like, "Hey, why'd you care so much about me? Like, you and Batgirl are all lovey-dovey, and you don't seem to care that much about her safety." And he's like, "I am concerned, but she's a superhero." And she says, "I'm a pirate queen." And Dick yells, "I didn't know that!" And then they just pause, and then she's like, okay, yeah, it's fair point, I suppose.
That's kind of fair, yeah.
Fair point. But yeah, so they go to the secret city that's in a mountain that they have like anti-Atlantean tech to make sure no one comes in. And they've got like fake Manta helmets and Ocean Master helmets.
Which just tells me that they're adding these things to divert the Atlanteans. They're like, oh man, they killed Black Manta. We're not going here. I thought that was a little bit of a reach, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, the joke I did like here is that they get to this city and it's got like, I can't even remember what the store was, but it was like a Starbucks. It was like a franchise restaurant.
It's their Starbucks in DC. It's called $1.
Yeah. And he's like, "Wait, you've got that here?" Like, and he's like, "What were you expecting? Like a shanty town with like stalls selling spices and like homemade booze?" And he's like, "Yeah, kinda, but it's not. It's an actual like functioning city."
Yeah, it's a modern metropolis hidden away. It's just culture surrounding piracy.
Yeah, you know? There's a neat little bit here where there's like an assistant lady who shows up, and she bows at Captain Blood, and Blood's like, "What have I told you about bowing? Like, don't do it." And she's like, "But it's tradition." And Dick's like, "Yeah, but you, like, is tradition more important than the actual orders of your captain? I mean, that feels a bit weird." Actually, at the end, when it turns out that she's also part of the bad team, I was like, that was actually a neat little seed. I almost want to dock at a point, though, for Taylor pointing it out by Dick saying, "Aha, tradition before the captain," like, you know, that was like a seed for the end. But because Dick actually points it out after it happens, I thought, okay, you're explaining it to me a little bit, so I'll, you know, little negative point for that.
It was a nice point there, but I'd rather have him put it together at the end like we did.
Yeah,
you know, because her just saying, you know, tradition over orders, right? That would have been like a little, you know, a breadcrumb. So then when it does hit, it hits harder when she turns on B.
Yeah.
So
they're going up to her like base or whatever, and this building, and right before Dick realizes it's a trap, but it doesn't matter. Her evil brother is behind the door and shotgun blasts the henchman dude that was kind of likable, and so he dies. So there's consequences here, and Dick, of course, has to start fighting after a quick bit of back and forth. Also, the brother basically admits, I spread info to all these bad guys hoping that one of them would kill Dad. Like, you know, so he's responsible for the death of the quartermaster.
Right.
So
yeah, because he's a pirate. He wants to take over the ship himself.
Yeah. So he wants to know what the hold is. She won't tell him, and says he'll torture all of her crew until one of them fess up where they hid it. So Dick is into action, has some smoke pellets, starts beating the crap out of some pirates. The big cliffhanger, though, is that Bee's brother stabs her through the stomach with a sword and throws her over the edge of this balcony on this building, and she goes crashing into the water. And that's the end of the issue. Very quick read, very pleasant read.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is one that was just okay. Feels like a mid chapter, right? In the story.
I think we've got one issue left in this particular arc, and I've been saying that I've been enjoying it well enough. It's a very easy read, but it's not up to the same excitement that I have typically. And I think that's a mix of things. I think it's like I'm not as into pirates for one. It's also dealing with this character that's more related to Rick Grayson than Dick Grayson. And inherently, that's just a little less interesting to me. Yeah. But it feels like it's wrapping those things up. Not that I'm saying I think Bee's definitely dead. I feel like this is definitely prime for her surviving.
I feel like the killing so wanton is we're gonna find out that you can't die on the pirate island for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a bit of a stretch. Okay, but you may be right. I don't know.
Yeah, just because it was so the guy that he endeared us to just goes down without a fight. Bee gets stabbed. I'm wondering if there's going to be some piratesy, Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think if the henchman dude survives because there's magic here that stops you from dying, that would I think that would make that death quite weak. And I think it works because it made him like us, and then and then he dies. I think that's to sell us on the threat. And then I think the ending's ambiguous enough where she might survive this. It may not have. He may not have hit an organ. She might swim to safety next issue. Dick might jump in after her. Whatever the next step is. But
because they also made a big deal about Dick hesitating, right, when he was supposed to jump into the water. So I wonder what that's about as well.
Yeah, he doesn't know what that is yet. He's still not sure. But the backup wraps up this little 3-part story we've had, which is this villain that's been following Dick around, who doesn't know he's Nightwing, just sees him hanging out with Babs, who Dick's at the movies with in this issue, or with the other Batgirls, or whatever it's been over the last 2 parts. But Dick goes out to get some more drinks when he's at the movies with Babs. He ends up noticing the villain, and it turns out this is actually a very old villain, because I was not expecting a note that said Detective Comics issue 154 from December 1949. Like, Jesus. You're pulling an old character here. So this is
Conrad.
Yeah, this is Hatch Marlin, who used to do getaway driving for other criminals, but now he's doing kidnapping. And he doesn't know that Dick's Nightwing, so he keeps threatening him with this gun. And Dick's like, "You have no idea who I am. You're not going to solve anything here. You're going down." And sure enough, Dick very easily deals with him. It's not even an issue. Leaves him tied up for the police. It's not a big deal. I will say, the art here is all right, but there is definitely some anime influence, and some Dick looks overly angry in some of the panels when it feels like he should be just kind of
regular.
Yeah, just regular Dick, to be honest. I don't see why he'd be so angry at this guy. But the employee at the movie theater won't let him back inside because the movie started. He even offers to buy a new ticket, but she still won't let him in. So he has to message Babs and says, "I'm outside, they won't let me in." So she comes out, and it's like, okay, the movie was going to suck anyway. Let's just go and hang out with people. And the final page is just Dick and Babs snuggling on the couch, and Cass and Steph are, eating popcorn and stuff. Jason's standing off at the side like a loser. So that's it. It's basically just this is why we're superheroes, to have these quiet moments like this. This is what we're fighting for. This was a fun backup series. The middle chapter with Jason was a bit weaker, but I think both this one and the first one where he's hanging out with the other Batgirls were really enjoyable for what they were. Certainly not I think if you put all 3 of them together and sold it as an issue, it would probably be a fine little one shot. As it is, it was a nice little charming backup, but nothing special either. But I had a decent enough time.
It was good.
Did you read the backup? No.
Oh no, I haven't been reading these ones.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. What you rating Nightwing?
I'm gonna give this 7.5.
I'll give it a 7. I think it still does some smart things with the way it sets up a couple of the villains and makes us care about the character who's going to die. But yeah, still, it's definitely a rank down as far as the arcs go compared to the other stuff that Taylor's done in the book.